Welcome to this Google Form creation tutorial. Today, I will be looking or taking us through how to use Google Form to manage our small business record. My name is Olusegun Bangoshe. Uh, Wherever you are watching this tutorial from, if you've not subscribed to this channel, you can try and subscribe now. Right. We'll be looking at what are the benefits or how can we use Google Form to manage our daily small business record. So why uh, this tutorial? If you look at what is happening in business world today, especially small businesses, you see that a lot of business cannot provide accurate records of their day-to-day activities. And because of that, they lose record, they lose information, vital information that can help them to plan expansion, that can help them to predict what to happen in the future, that can help them to know where have they make mistake, what can they do better, okay? And this is because we still rely on conventional ways of managing uh, our business records. And when I say conventional way, I'm referring to um, the uh, paperwork that we do or we use to manage our business. Some business have, bring some innovation into their daily activity by using WhatsApp, automated WhatsApp responses to manage their customer, which is a good one, really. Yes. But if you look at some major problem that small businesses are facing today, a lot cannot provide the historical records of what is happening in their business simply because they rely solely on paper record. Okay, there's no access to a record when the business owner or when the decision makers are not at the business premises. So this is because they rely solely on paperwork, and that is why we are going to be looking at how can we use Google Form and Google Sheets to manage and keep records of our business daily activities. Note that this tutorial, at the end of the tutorial, you are going to provide a feedback. We encourage you to provide feedback as to whether that functionality, that tool in Google uh, really can help small businesses or not. Let's continue. So examples of some of the problems that small businesses are facing today is you see the records are scattered in notebook, receipts, worn out receipts, charts. It's really a serious challenge. It's a serious problem. And that is why I'll be showing you how to build a simple system that store your business record safely for life using Google Form. In this tutorial, we are also going to be looking at the practical way of navigating uh, Google Form and creating it specifically to our business need. Okay, so what Google Form can do for small businesses. When we say Google, we know that it's a cloud-based tool. So Google Form also is a cloud-based tool and it's free. When we use Google Form, it automatically saves our data into the cloud. We can access this information any day, anytime using our phone or our computer. We can as well connect to Google Sheets to view line by line what happened each day of our business operations. And this means we are talking about is secure and accessible any day, anytime. So examples of Some of the things we can use Google Form to manage in our daily business activity includes uh, sales record, our expenses record. We can use it to track so the variations of our expenses day in, day out, right? We can also use it to keep our customer details. We can use it to manage daily income reports as well as staff attendance. So at the end of this tutorial, the concept we are going to be looking at, you can now decide how and where to use that concept in your business activity. We'll be looking at step-by-steps of creating a Google form. Uh, from now, we'll look at how to get access to Google form, uh, how to create it in a practical way. Now let's deep dive into how to create a Google form. To create a Google form, what you need to do is you go to your uh, Google account. For instance, you can get Google form through your email. The email features of Google is Gmail, Google Mail. So if you come to this right corner, you see these nine dots grouped together. If you click it, you see several other features, several other tools that uh, Google provided, right? You see Gmail, you see Drive, right? You see YouTube and the rest like that. So for the purpose of this tutorial, we'll go through Drive, okay? When you open your Drive, right? Welcome to Drive, right? You see different menus there. You see new, you see, let me close this, right? You see new, you see home, my drive, computer, and the rest like that, okay? So for you to see Google Form, just click on new and you come to Google Form. Please note that this process is because I'm using laptop. So if you are using mobile phone, all you just need to do is go to Chrome and on your address field, type form.google.com, form.google.com, FORM, right, dot google.com. Okay, let's continue. It's the same process. Click the form. When you click the form, it takes you to the window where you see um, the form. Because it's a new form, all you see is untitled form. Okay, you can now name it. What do you want the form to? What is the name you want to give the form? Right. Um, let's say I want to give it GNI 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 daily operations reports. Okay, if this is the name I want to give the form, okay, this is the name. So you can come here, you can copy this name, okay, copy this name, sorry, you can copy this name to the to make the name of the form itself, okay. So under that name you see form description. So what this is saying is that what is the purpose or what is this form basically for? For instance, I can describe this to say, okay, use this form to report all the activity, all the daily business activities. So activities. I mean, you can further, put more than this what I wrote. Okay, this is just my own uh, descriptions of what this form is all about. Your own can be more than that. You can also, you know, go further to tell your employee what you expect they should do in using this form to report. So I named this form GNI, Golden Nut Innovation Daily Operations Report. Okay. What did I want my employee to provide? What information did I am I looking for as a report from my employees? Okay. Number one, let's say, let's assume I'm running a pure water business. GNI is running a pure water factory business. Uh, if you look at pure water business, what are the information that you think will be very important to keep on daily basis? Okay. So one of them is um, daily sales. Daily sales. So how do you want this to be captured? So the first thing in this form is to capture daily sales record. How do you want this to be captured? You want it to be captured in numbers? You want it to be captured in text? Okay. So when you say daily sales, automatically the form is assuming that, okay, this will be a short answer text. Okay. But you may further specify um, whether you want it like this or you don't want it like this. So by coming to one, this place, how do you want it? Is it short answer, paragraph, multi-choice, okay, rating and the rest? These are different options of which you can use the form to gather or collect information. Okay, so the short answer is okay. Is it mandatory? Is it mandatory that this section of the form must be answered? So if the answer is yes, you mark it as required, this place. So what it means is that if your employee could not provide response to uh, this feed, the form should not allow him or her to submit it, to submit the form. Okay. Now, this is one of the things I'm looking for. So what other thing? For me to add another thing, I will come to this bar. You see this plus here, add session. I'll click it. Okay. Apart from daily sales, what other thing am I expecting them to give me? Maybe numbers of bag produced in a day, production, right? Production in bags, production in bags. If this is mandatory, you mark it like I said earlier, you mark it. I add another section, okay? FOC, FOC, free of charge delivery in bags. For instance, in your business, you might have uh, approved numbers of bags to be given to maybe a law enforcement agency on the road as social responsibility. You can have bonus you give to customers that buy a certain numbers of quantity, a certain quantity from you. Okay, so all those ones goes into FOC delivery. Okay, uh, FOC delivered in bag. How do you want this to be captured? So short answer. I want it in short answer. Okay, um, short answer, right? And it's mandatory. I can mark it mandatory. It's important to have it uh, recorded. Okay, what other thing am I expecting to see is whether um, stock, okay, I want to see what is the stock level, stock at the end of the day. We can call it closing stock, closing, closing, closing stock. I want it in number and it's mandatory. So I can come here and pre-validate what should be given to me. Okay, so response validation is what you see here. Response validation. So if you click response validation, you can specify whether you want it as text or number. So me, I want it as number, greater than. So here you need to be mindful of what setting you put here so that you don't create a problem for the users. Okay, if you say it must be greater than 0, what it means is that the day that they don't produce anything, they won't be able to submit the report, especially if you mark it as mandatory or required. Okay, so you leave it like this. So another thing that I want them to also give me in their report is is okay, um um total kg consumed, total row, right? Total row consumed in kg. Okay, remember that here we've said production in bags for the day. We can make it day production in bags. Here we are now saying how many kg. Okay, so if it's, let's say they said, okay, um we use 20 kg, maybe 2 rows, total rows consumed, okay, in kg. So they will put it here. If you want to see that, you see that you can provide that, right? Packing bag received, packing bag received, okay. So like I said, packing bag received, because packing bag is one of the critical items used in pure water uh, packaging. Okay, so how do you want this to be captured? I want it in short answer. Okay, so you can mark it required. If they didn't receive anyone, they will put 0. Okay, now I don't want us to, I don't want us to, in order not to take much of our time, another very critical part is the document keeping. What documents exist for that day? So let's say packing bag receipts. receipt. Let's just say receipt. You can further tweak this according to your business need. Receipt, okay, receipt or invoices. So how do you want to keep this? Okay, receipt slash invoices for the day. Okay, you can come here and say you want this in attachment. Okay, when you click attachment, the form will tell you let respondents upload files to drive. Just click continue. And when you click continue, look at the options. Allow only specific file type. Okay, you can specify which file type you want, whether documents, spreadsheet, PDF, video. Okay, maybe you want your employee to also do a short videos of what happened in the factory, maybe a very short video. Maybe you want image. They should be able to attach image in form of uh, the item you want to cover. Okay, you want to receive. So you can select it here. Maximum numbers of file to be attached. You can select it. 1, 5, 10 in a report. Maximum. Okay. You can specify. So for the purpose of this tutorial, I selected 1. Maximum file size. For one particular file, maximum file size should be 10 megabytes. And this is to control um, the size of the attachments they are going to keep uploading, because all these are going into your Google Gmail Drive on daily basis. So the form itself, because immediately you select attachment, the size of each report will be um, determined by Google, and each report submitted will have its own size, and as such will be consuming part of your Google free space allocation. Okay, so this form can accept up to 1 gigabyte. So Google give each Gmail 15 gigabytes free. Okay, so what this place is saying is that when you keep receiving reports, immediately the size of the total reports you receive is up to 1 gig, this form will stop. So you can increase it. Okay, you can come here. When you click that part, you see this place, when you say change, it will take you to settings. Okay, and you can scroll down, to change file upload size, total size limit for all uploaded files. So you can come here and say, okay, until it gets to 10 gig, okay, or 100 gigabytes. Okay, so don't worry about when you exhaust uh, the capacity. There is also a way out. If you don't want to buy additional space in the cloud. Okay, now let's go back to our questions. Having select all these are just samples, okay, of those information I want as a pure water factory owner. These are some of the information I want my employee to provide for me on daily basis. Okay. So FOC will go, like this FOC now, will go into whether you give your employee access to take some bags of pure water home every weekend as part of benefits of working in a pure water factory if you want. So all those records will come to FOC. Okay. Now, having select or create the form, you can come to settings, look at what you have here, collect email address. So you can choose to collect, or you want the employee to input his email address. You can also want the employee to have a copies of whatever form, whatever report submitted. Send responder a copies of the response. Okay. If you want that to happen, you put it always, or employee to say, okay, I want a copy, to specify when it's about to submit the form. Okay. Um, if the purpose of this form is not for repetitive um, report, a report that need to be submitted on daily basis. So maybe you are using the form to conduct a survey. You want people to give you opinions about a certain uh, objective or a certain thing. So you can mark this to respondents will be required to sign in. I mean, uh, you can, once you mark this rather, so the response, sorry about that. Sorry about that. So sorry, this is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about allow response editing. Okay. So then limit to one response. If you mark this, okay, so what it means is that once respondents submit one form, they won't be able to submit another one. That is what this is saying. Okay. So if you want your employee or your respondents um, to be able to edit whatever response they give you after submitting it, you can mark this. But if you don't want that, you can leave it as it is. Okay. So now let's go back to uh, responses. In responses, this is where you create where each of the response of the form goes to. So you want to link this form to a spreadsheet. If I click it now, it will ask me, it's asking me whether I want to create a new sheet or I want to add it to an existing spreadsheet. So let me ask the form to create a new spreadsheet. Create a new spreadsheet. Okay. So it's trying to show me the spreadsheet of that form. You can see, look at this, look at the spreadsheet. So what it means is that whatever form, whatever response I get, okay, so it's coming here. Let's go back to the form. I'm going back to the form. So now you can see these three tabs: question, responses, settings. Take note of them. They are where you manage. If tomorrow you want additional information that your employee should be providing for you on daily basis, you can go back to the form and add it. Okay. So um, we've not received any response because the form is not yet receiving response. So go back to the form now. Review what you have here. Okay. Review it. If it's okay, if it's okay, um, don't don't worry really about how the sequence of the uh, feeds. Okay, so you can arrange your own the way you want it to be. And if you don't arrange it here, you can arrange it in the spreadsheet. Don't forget that this spreadsheet is where the response from the form will be coming to. Let's quickly do an example. Let's demonstrate how it works. Now, after I might have finished designing my form, what I will do is I will publish it. Publish means making the form to be accessible to users. Okay, publish. If I publish the form, it will ask me to copy the link to the form. If you are not yet ready to make use of the link, you can leave it. Not a problem. Okay. Now, for me to see how my form will look like, you can click this preview. When you click preview, it shows you. Can you see? This is the form. GNI Daily Operations Report. Okay. So, I've copied the link before. Okay. This is the link that I will send to my employee. Okay. That is the link I will send to my, I can come to my WhatsApp. Okay. And probably share with my employee that, okay, I want you guys to always fill this form on daily basis. I've sent to this person now. Okay. Because I've already published the form, I can I can um I can be expecting responses from my employee. Now let's look at how it will look like when they begin to use the form. Let me go to the link I sent earlier. This link. Okay. Now you see all the required fields must be filled. Let's say I want to submit a report, which is the objectives of the form itself. And I will input the email as specified by the form gni@gmail.com. Let's say this is the form. Okay. I can as well make it automatic such that the form collects the email. The daily sales, let's say we sold 230 bags today and we produce 400 bags. Okay. The packing bag received is 2 bundles. Okay, 2 bundles, right? So the invoice, once they click that, they can browse it. They can browse to attach the invoice. Okay, you can browse to attach the invoice in whatever format they have it. Remember that this is because I'm selecting an MP4 file. So normally an invoice should not be up to this. Okay. All right. Numbers of FOC, the numbers of bags uh, that was delivered or out of the factory without uh, without getting paid for it, free of charge. That's what that FOC is talking about. So let's say 6. Okay. They can now add comment to say to employee to employee um to employee weekly water, for instance. Okay, maybe depending on how you want the information to be. So they should be able to explain who are the people that took this FOC. Okay. Then the closing stock for that day. Let's say the closing stock. As you have closing stock, you have opening stock. Opening stock plus daily production minus sales for that day give you the closing stock for that day. Okay. So let's say it's 524, 534. Total road consumed, let's say we consume 17 kg. Okay. And you submit. Okay. You click submit. Right. Now, if you go to the spreadsheet, you can see, you can see this is the record for that day. So there is something I didn't add to that form, which is amount, amount, um, amount. Let me add cash received, cash received. Okay, cash received. Then I want total cash transferred. Total cash transferred. Or you can call this one total sales, total sales value, depending on what you want to see. Total sales value, total sales value. Okay, so total sales value could be 20,000 naira, and total cash transfer, cash remitted, and cash transfer, cash remitted. Okay, cash remitted and cash transfer should be equals to total um total sales for that day. Okay, and and another thing you can add is debt received, debts received. Okay, so if you look at this now, debt received plus sales for that day is the total revenue for that day. So debt received plus total sales for that day, minus total transferred, okay, equals to cash to be remitted. Let me say it again. Anyway, we are not, that's another subject on its own. Okay, um so you can use this system to get, and those edits that we just made to the form. Now let's go to the spreadsheet to see whether it has added it to, can you see it? Total sales value, total transfer, cash remitted, debt received. This is just sample. If you want a proper Google form to manage your, let's say, pure water factory, for instance, so we can, you can comment templates in the comment section, and we can support you to design one at a token. So this is just the basic that we can actually use to manage our day-to-day operations. You can see the timestamp, it put the date. In the form itself, you can also specify that, okay, this particular report is meant for which day. Okay, so I can come to the form and say, okay, I want you to specify, because it's possible for one reason or the other, they are unable to submit the report for yesterday. So I can come here to say date of transaction or transaction date. Okay, so whatever you want to call it. So, and that's because the day the report was submitted and the day the report is meant for, you can use that to track compliance to rules. Okay, can you see the date, the the form was submitted, okay, and the date the transaction is meant for, okay. So you can use that. And if you look at this spreadsheet, this is just 102. You can add as many as you want. You can see 1,102. How many days do we have in a year? 365 days. So you can imagine how many years you can use this system to manage in terms of record. How many records of how many years you can use this to do. So this is just an examples of how to use Google Form to keep records of our business for life. Okay. Now, when you do this, right, you can further add another sheet. Maybe you want to be seeing the summary of revenue, expenses, and the likes. So you can add another sheet, okay. Um, you can add another sheet and input some little prompts, okay, into the worksheet, and you'll be getting the summary or what they do on daily. Once they submit the form, you can get notification of what happened uh, that day. So I hope this tutorial helps, okay. Um, if you like what we shared in this tutorial, you can also share with your friends, okay. So we've actually covered a lot in that tutorial. Some of those things we said we are going to be looking at is how to add date, customer name, products. So you see, if you look at the concept we've covered, okay, you can use it uh, to design your own form in a way that you want, okay. Um, we've also looked at how to connect the Google form to Google Sheets, okay, organizing record for long-term use. We've also briefly look at that. So we've seen that we can use Google Form for our daily business activity, whether on our phone or on computer. So if you like this video, give us a thumbs up, okay. You can share with your friends. If you've not subscribed to this channel, you can subscribe, okay. Comment if you want free Google Form template. You can as well send us a DM to design Google Form to manage your business, okay. So such that all you just need to do is to just make a copies of that form and boom, you are fine. Thank you for watching. I will see you in our next tutorial.